FlossTube. My name is Sarah and this is my first FlossTube. We've decided to name my channel Threads and Tales. I have my 13-year-old YouTube manager inspiring me to create this, finally at long last. So I wanted to start it off by telling you who I am and where I'm from and what you can kind of expect to see on my channel. So my name is Sarah. I live in Colorado. I have 5 kids and 2 dogs and a very busy, crazy life. We tend to be pretty busy, but stitching is my main hobby. I also like to read and I like to do cooking classes and cook, so long as it's not, you know, cooking dinner for all of my people. That's a little different, but cooking a 5-course meal sounds great. I decided to start a FlossTube channel after having had an Instagram for many, many years. I found that recently Instagram has kind of changed the way that they allow you to search other programs and other patterns and other tags, and it's made it very complicated to find things that I'm interested in or to follow a tag to see where I can go buy a pattern. So I decided to connect with other FlossTubers as well as stitchers that just like to watch by creating my own channel, which I am obviously super nervous about, but I appreciate your forgiveness as I kind of figure this out. I've been stitching since I was 12. My grandma taught me on one of those pre-printed quilters fabric type of patterns that I think we all encountered back in the 90s. Fell out of it for a while, got into some other hobbies and crafts, and then fell back in love with it in about 2012 when my best friend was stitching and I asked her what was she up to, and she led me down the rabbit hole, and I've been hooked ever since. Currently up to now, as of today, I have 47 whips going. I have finished 8 this year, which is kind of a big deal for me. I don't usually finish that many. And I've gotten about another 80 patterns or so that I have not started. Some of them kitted, some of them not kitted, some I probably don't really have any intention to stitch, but I really liked it. I've been participating in a lot of retreats and community type events in the last 4-ish months, and it's really reignited my passion for stitching. Connecting with so many wonderful people has been such a gift and has really, I don't know, re-inspired me to jump into this hobby feet first, get into all of the virtual retreats, in-person retreats, shopping halls, FlossTube craziness that everyone is a part of, but I've kind of only dipped my toe in the water and stayed safe on my little Instagram. My Instagram is linked in my bio. It is Sarah Does All the Things. Some other things you might see on there, although it is primarily cross stitch, would be travel, food, travel and food, travel and more food, and a lot of stitching. Those are definitely my 3 main passions. So I'm gonna take a drink of water. My manager may edit that out. So that leads me to today, where I have kind of changed the way that I stitch. I used to be more of a monogamous stitcher, or maybe have 3 or 4 projects at a time. And I have really increased the amount of stitching that I have been doing and the amount of projects I've allowed myself to start. I used to have little rules for myself, and after the Downton Abbey Black Needle Society retreat in April, that went out the window. I decided to do Stitch Mania in May. I started a project every day in May, most of the days in May. Some of them I did start in June. And I have been kind of a fiend in the last couple of months, just doing whatever my heart feels good doing, which is starting all of my favorite stitching projects, visiting different local needle shops. My closest one is 2 hours away, so I tend to visit needle shops in other cities when I'm traveling, and I haven't really gone to the one in Denver quite as much, although it is lovely. So I'm up to 70,755 stitches done so far this year. I've never tracked my stitches before this year, But again, jumped in fees first. So I am using a spreadsheet, which I can go into at another time, but I purchased it on Etsy, and this lovely person has created an incredible spreadsheet that makes it very easy to see what I'm doing, what I have, when I started it, what it's stitched on, as well as kind of motivate me to continue working on things that otherwise might go by the wayside. And my little list here. My goals currently for stitching are, I am participating in WhipGo, and this is the first year I've done it, and so far I've managed to keep up. I just finished 2 of my WhipGo projects for July. I've also just finished the Frogwarts Year 6 band during the retreat, which was very exciting. And my goals coming up are to finish my oldest WIP, which is from 2015, and I'm hoping to finish that this month. I do have the Black Needle Society camp coming up next week, which I'm so excited about and a little bit nervous. I've never done an in-person retreat before, and I'm really looking forward to meeting so many wonderful people that I've been able to talk with and Zoom with and do book club with and do Frogwarts and Downton Abbey, and I'm just so excited to meet all of these lovely people and see their projects in person, of course. It's kind of funny how I found Black Needle Society. I went to Galleria in Kansas City, or was it Missouri? I think it was in Missouri. And I was being nosy, walking around the lobby, as I often am, very nosy, and I wanted to see what everyone was working on, and I recognized a table full of projects from Instagram, and as I got to talking with them, they all were there with Black Needle Society, and I was able to kind of learn more about the company and what they do and what they offer. And since then, it has been, I don't want to say a downhill slide into cross stitch, it has been an adventure, like a roller coaster. It's been so much fun. I hope to talk mostly about stitching on this channel. Some other things you may hear about while you're here, some things to know about me, I guess, are my kids. I have 2 beautiful stepdaughters who are in front of me. They're my managers right now. They'll help me with all of this. I also have a 17-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 2.5-year-old. I was widowed in 2018 and then repartnered a little over a year later. And we've created this beautiful Brady Bunch family, and it's chaos and I love it. You can see behind me is my gallery wall, which is new in my home. I've got my husband, I'll refer to sometimes, that is my late husband, and then my hubby, who is my current partner. His name is Matt. He kind of has embraced my hobby with both hands and has been so encouraging of all of these things that I really want to jump into and do. And so one of the things that he did recently was that we decided to take all of the kitsch off of our walls, and he went and grabbed every frame project that I had and made a gallery wall out of them. And it's very special to be able to sit here and see thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of stitches of my time that I've put into it. I strongly believe that when we are stitching, we're not just brainlessly putting thread into fabric. You know, we are witnessing the whole world around us and all of the stories that happen in our lives as we are making something beautiful. I think we put that energy into our projects, and so that's where the tails part comes in. I'm definitely super ADHD girl, and I will tend to ramble, but I will try to keep these videos to about 10 minutes. I think if I ever do a whip parade, we'll have to break them up into smaller videos. But if you allow me to ramble, I will, and we'll be here forever, and YouTube will say, no, that's too long. So please feel free to let me know in the comments if you have a FlossTube, what you wish you knew before you started it, or maybe as you were getting started. If you don't have a FlossTube, let me know why, because if I can do this, I think anybody can do this. I've been very intimidated about the technology and about the silly idea of sitting here talking to the back of my phone, but I feel like you gotta just try things sometimes and see how it goes. So I look forward to hearing from you FlossTubers and Stitchers, and I hope everybody is doing well. Have fun with your projects. Take care.